Chang Tian had a violent encounter with a spirit warrior who could use mystic powers to summon a spirit weapon. With death in front of him, he used all of his remaining strength and summoned the most powerful of all spirit weapons, who defeated the attacker even with all of his memories and most of his power restricted. Now Chang plans to win the Tian Gang trial for spirit warriors so that his dad can finally be proud of him. His father was never really proud of him, as he was a leading historian and astrologer, while his son was a loser. Chang wanted to be like him too, but was always shunned by his dad because of his mediocrity. One night when he went to an empty bookstore and picked up a strange book, but on the way back he ran into a group of gangsters who just robbed a woman and then aimed for him. The leader of the thugs picks up his book, and after mocking him for believing in fortune-telling, he says he will take the book and use it as toilet paper. Chang gathers some courage to get back his book, kicking the thug's foot before taking the book and running away, but he gets caught soon, and the gangster rushes in to punch him. Chang ducks and accidentally takes off his pants, and he learned that skill by playing with his uncle when he was little. He runs away while the gangster adjusts his pants furiously and comes to a garden and thinks he has finally lost his pursuers and can read the book. A sharp noise stuns his brain, and then a magic barrier surrounds the entire garden. He is shocked, but then the gangster, who is actually a low-level spirit warrior and a giant samurai, which was his spirit weapon, dropped from the sky. He had set up the magic barrier called Ward so that Chang could not run away, as he is angry that he pulled his pants down but did not blow the flute. He commands his samurai to attack, who uses blunt wind slashes and throws Chang away, and then cuts his arms and legs, and Chang groans in pain. After the gangster takes out his frustration on him by stomping on him, he orders his spirit weapon to finish him. Chang does not want to die, and as he closes his eyes, he finds himself in front of a huge gate, which is actually the divine arsenal. He touches the gate, and a powerful lightning bolt strikes in front of him, and a storm brews as the spirit weapon he just summoned takes form. Seeing the white-haired spirit weapon, the samurai laughs, saying that he looks like a worthy opponent, and introduces himself as the rare-grade weapon that was once wielded by a Chinese general. The man, let us just call him White, refuses to introduce himself to someone he deems unworthy, and the samurai attacks him. But he picks Chang up and jumps back while dodging the attacks and even heals the boy on the way. The samurai thinks he can finally land a hit, but White blocks it with one finger and then puts some distance between them. Chang finds that he is completely healed and then notices the samurai charging his ultimate attack, but White is not even phased. He takes the attack head-on and gets no damage, and then he creates a giant energy ball and attacks the samurai, who disintegrates because of the powerful attack. The bright flash of light fades to show a crater where the attack was used, and the gangster runs away after losing and has trouble breathing. As one of his lackeys comes to back him up, he vanishes into glowing dust, and a girl who was watching the fight seems to be interested in the new spirit weapon. Meanwhile, White cannot believe that someone with such low spiritual power as Chang could summon him, and as he sits down to meditate, the ward around them vanishes. The next morning, Chang dresses White in his dad's clothes and then learns that he does not remember his real name and other important things, most probably because the master who summoned him was an idiot and a loser. White tells him about the divine arsenal that contained great weapons from all times and all over the world. They were classified into basic, rare, epic, and legendary, but there are stories about a grade even higher than legendary, which was holy weapons. And White is sure that he is a holy weapon despite his memory and power loss that restricted him to only being on epic level. But then Chang's mom calls him to tell him that a pretty girl was there for him, and as he goes down, he sees a girl way out of his league but still giving him attention, and this proves that this anime is a work of fiction. She introduces herself as Jasmine Chu, his classmate in college, and wants to talk to him in private. Chang's mother thinks that she is getting a daughter-in-law and gladly sends them both outside, where Jasmine calls two people who surround Chang, and he asks her who she is. She says that she knows about his spirit weapon, and that they do not like each other, so she offers to buy it from him at his desired price. White comes out himself and begins to flirt with Jasmine, winning her heart, and Chang is so annoyed that he tells the girl that he will not sell White to her since he has saved his life. He drags him back to his room, where White explains about the Tian Gang trial, where spirit warriors like Chang and Jasmine fought alongside their summoned weapons in a limited-time event, and the winner got infinite wishes and glory from the gods. I will be swimming in an ocean of money after the first wish. Chang is shocked to learn this, and he wants to take part in the trial, but he does not know that Jasmine was also aiming to win it, which is why she wanted to buy White from him. Since he does not agree nicely, she decides to blackmail and harass him through scam calls, house graffiti, pamphlets slandering his character, and even giant banners hanging from helicopters. After thinking he must be tired enough, she comes to meet him again and asks if his answers have changed, but he replies that they will not change, and they should meet in the Tian Gang trial, which he thinks will be a piece of cake with White's powers, adding that if she needed the weapon of a loser like him, she wasn't any good herself. Now the girl is really furious, and she commands her 2 servants to show the boy their power as she sets up a ward. The servants Jiang and Mo Yi transform into spirit weapons, and Chang knows their names as the daughter and son-in-law of the legendary swordsmith named Ao Yezi. White also transforms to face them, and the couple attacks him with their different swords and fighting styles, and he counters them with a whip-like sword made from spiritual energy. He blocks them even as they try to overwhelm him from both sides, but he matches them equally and stops all their attacks. Jasmine asks her weapons how long they plan on fighting someone who only seems to be of epic rank, while they were legendary, and Mo Yi replies that he is more than what he seems. When Chang learns that his opponents were both legendary, he is shocked, but White telepathically assures him that there is no problem. As they continue fighting, dodging, and blocking each other's attacks, an uninvited guest barges in and says that he wants to join the battle as the representative of the Tianzun Hall. The arrogant boy named Han and his timid but clever partner Malin come to the battle zone, and Jasmine and Han are old enemies. The arrogant boy tells Chang that he is not interested in his weapon because it does not even have a name, and then he shows him his weapon, which was made by Mo Yi's dad too. He summons out the lazy and bored legendary weapon named Kai Sing, but let us just call him Jimmy, and then tells Chang that he will spare his life today if he just leaves. Chang thinks that White can beat Jimmy, and that is the only reason he taunts Han that he can beat him, but White does not even stop for him to complete his dialogue and attacks the boy, and Nalin calls out his weapon, who is a ninja, to block it. Jasmine thinks that this is her chance to defeat and humiliate Han once and for all, so she commands her power couple to attack Jimmy, and gets overwhelmed by them, calling them sister and brother-in-law. They attack him from both sides, and Jimmy is having a hard time blocking their attacks as they fly, and their clashes reveal bright flashes of lightning. White is facing the ninja girl, who is quick, but he dodges all her attacks and teases her to try harder. Jasmine decides that the fight is dragged on long enough and their weapons don't have enough stamina, so she commands her weapons to use their special moves. Jiang uses his debuff-granting ability called Psycho Drain and uses his energy to create a cloudless rain and bring Jimmy to his knees. Then Mo Yi compliments him with her power's Psycho Shift and uses a pink fire to burn the spirit weapon while transferring his active buffs to White, who feels refreshed. The Tianzun Hall members realize they are losing and run away, while Chang taunts them that he will spare their lives since they were running away, and the angry Han says that he will remember this. With them gone, Jasmine thanks Chang for his help and offers to create a temporary alliance with him. The next day, she invites him and White over for coffee, and tells him that White was a death summon, which was a rare and instinctive way to get spirit weapons. She used the standard way of using the ceremony in which people can draw spirit weapons like lottery tickets. There is a restriction that no one can get more than 1 legendary weapon, but since her weapons were husband and wife, they came in a combo, and now she cannot get any more of the same rank, but has weapons of lower ranks. Apart from that, it also cost a lot of money, and her dad does not allow her to summon spirit weapons as she has spent a lot on them already. Then she tells him about Tianzun Hall, which was a several hundred-year-old organization that was created by a spirit weapon named Zhang Lu to collect all the weapons made by his creator, Ao Yezi. Jasmine then asks Chang if he wants to ally with her for the trial, and he is doubtful as he asks why he needs to do that. She replies that if the weapon breaks, the master dies, just like what happened with the gangster, and Chang is shocked upon hearing that. White says that if he is scared, he should transfer him to Jasmine and go hide under a rock somewhere because many people die in the trials. But Chang is confident in White's power and decides to attend the trial as an ally of Jasmine. She invites him to her home, and he is shocked by how big it was before learning that they had even called her mom here because Jasmine was worried that someone may try to harm her. The one is quite carefree and adjusts well to the big house, thinking it belonged to his son's girlfriend, and Jasmine also acts like that in front of her. Then she takes Chang to her room, where she offers to invest money in him so that he can summon another weapon for the team. He shamelessly takes the money, and then Jasmine tells him to chant the prayer to access the divine arsenal after her. They place their hands on the table, and a mystic portal transfers Chang's soul for the arsenal again. It opens, and a young girl with a bit of attitude problems comes out and introduces herself as Lily, and asks everyone to bow before her. She has a spear of epic rank, and as White scoffs at her, they get into a quarrel, and Chang stops them from getting violent, reminding them that they are teammates. Lily says that she was once the halberd of Lu Bu, the strongest warrior in the history of China, and as Chang says that he knows him, she gets excited and flattered, and she swears to protect him to the end. Then it is dinner time, and Chang's mom has cooked a delicious meal for everyone, hoping to impress Jasmine. After that, her son and his fake girlfriend drop her off at the gate because she wants to mind the shop tomorrow while waiting for her husband to return from his work trip. Chang thanks Jasmine for helping him so much and she blushes a bit, saying that she did not do it for him. But from the next day on, his training begins with the power couple who teach him and Lily, while White has to undergo rehab, where the weapon doctor tells him that he will not last long if he keeps on fighting. The next day, Chang and Jasmine go out because he needs to buy a sinology book, and as he runs away, even with her scolding him, Moyi says that he was just like a kid. But then she remembers their kid, Xiao Qi, and gets sad as her husband comforts her, saying that she should forget him. Then suddenly, a kid appears behind them and asks them if they are going to abandon him in this life too. Jiang and Moyi are shocked because the kid really looks like the reincarnation of their son Chidi, and he is overflowing the spiritual power as he summons his spirit weapon called Tai Su, who is a battle junkie ghost nun. Jasmine knows that the weapon must be powerful, and she calls Chang to return immediately as she creates a ward, and White has already felt the power of the new spirit weapon, which seemed to be very strong. The kid tells Tai Su that since his parents abandoned him, he doesn't mind killing them and orders her to attack them. His mom is worried, but Dad wants to teach him a lesson, so he transforms and rushes to attack Tai Su, who uses mystic ribbons to attack him. And as he stops them, he realizes that she must be a holy weapon. Tai Su confirms his doubts before attacking him with the ribbons again, and as Jiang tries to block and defend, he gets cut by a few attacks, and Moyi decides to back him up. She transforms and then attacks Tai Su from behind, but she blocks her attacks too. Jasmine orders them to use their skills, and they send the pink and blue fires towards the holy weapon, but she stops them both from using her powers, saying that their support-type skills were useless on upper-class weapons. Tai Su sees the look of shock on Jasmine's face and then mocks them, saying that their last resort had also been defeated, and she will show them what a real special move is like. She summons black lightning and releases it towards them, destroying the road and creating a mini canyon there. Jasmine and her party are shocked, and then Chi tells his weapon to stop wasting time because he wants to go home and watch Netflix. She obeys and flies to Jasmine and attacks her with a black lightning again. But Chang comes running at the right moment and saves her. Tai Su is angry now and uses another round of attack on them. But then White comes and creates a barrier to deflect that attack. She knows him and says that his face is as disgusting as ever, but White does not remember anything about her, and Chang nudges him to try and figure out his identity with her help. But she is also nervous because she is not at full power yet, and it was not smart for her to fight against White. As Chai is cheering her on, he suddenly hears a fearsome voice in his head that tells him that his true power is far beyond this, and he gets a severe headache. Tai Su rushes back to take care of him. She creates a portal and then vanishes with him, and Mo Yi breaks down on seeing her kid go. Chang is relieved that the battle is over and then asks Jasmine who the kid was and why he hated them. Mo Yi explains everything to him at home, saying that he was their son and was not always like this. She tells him their story, which started when she was pregnant and King Chu ordered her husband to make 2 swords with holy fire and ice ores in 2 months. He refused because it took much longer to process them, so the cruel king got angry and burned their village, so the couple had no choice but to obey. Jiang found a way to quickly make the swords by adding their blood to the ores to obtain a yin-yang balance, and now they use those swords. As he went to give one of the swords to the king, he was executed because he once helped the enemy too, and then the king sent his soldiers after Mo Yi, who jumped off a cliff, but managed to save her baby, who was raised by an old man. Their son Che grew up and decided to avenge his parents, but it was not easy, and the old man suggested a way to win, but that involved sacrificing his head. The old man took the head to the king, who threw it in a pot of boiling oil, and then the old man beheaded him before taking his life at the scene, and their heads fell to the pot tool. Chan realizes that their souls may have merged during the reincarnation process, and that is why the boy was born with a twisted personality. Modi looks at him hopefully, but he does not have a solution and says that he will study more to find something, and Jasmine says that they should not find the troublesome Tai Su till that happens. Chang stays up all night to find something, and as he wakes up late the next morning, he gets shocked by a phone call. His dad had called him home and thought that he was cheating Jasmine with his fake palm reading, and he gets angry and upset like the crybaby he is, and even his weapons hear all the embarrassing stuff. Meanwhile, a masked man named Yi, not the one who divorced Kim, comes to meet Jasmine, saying that he was here for a mission that had something to do with Xiao Chai. Yi is actually the vice president of the Tian gang trial, and she says that, as the management, he was not allowed to interfere with the spirit warriors. He replies that he has no choice but to step forward because Xie was harming normal people as he was being manipulated by the legendary weapon Zhang Lu, who is the head of Tian Zun Hall. Neither Jasmine nor her summons can believe that Zhang Lu, who was called the Sword of Righteousness, could do this, and Yi explains that he was summoned using a dark ceremony where the summoner sacrifices a person to obtain a spirit weapon without mercy but greater power. Jasmine is shocked, and as Yi tells her about Jianlu's legendary special move, she gets a message from Chai, who sent her a selfie with the people he had kidnapped and trapped in a fire circle. Mo Yi is worried about her son's sanity and runs away without waiting for her master's permission, and since Zhang also wants to go with her, Jasmine realizes that she must leave and calls Chang back to her home and asks him to guard it, and he rushes to the mansion. Jasmine and her weapons are looking for the people who were in the photo, but then they are surrounded by a ward, and she realizes that it was all a trap. She wants to call Chang, but someone shoots her phone down, and she finds that a spirit warrior named Lin, who belonged to the Tianzun Hall, has come here along with Chai to fight her. Lin tells Jasmine to come with her to the Tianzun Hall, and when the latter refuses, she gets down and says that she will teach her a lesson, asking Chai to not interfere. The power couple transforms into their real form, and Lin opens her eyes as she summons her sword and swings it towards Jasmine. Zhang realizes what was going on, and he saves his master just in time as a pillar of flame erupts at her location, but he injures his leg in the process. Jasmine is shocked to see a human using such a powerful move using spirit energy, and Lin tells her that if she is afraid, she should come with her immediately. The power couple thinks that since she does not have a holy weapon, they can beat her, and they use their special moves to use the energy-draining rain and the debuff transferring fire on her, but it does not work, and she easily defuses it. Jasmine is shocked again, but then she realizes that her enemy was using a harmony installation where the weapon and the warrior unite to amplify their power. Lin does not bother to hide it now and moves rapidly, with red lightning releasing from her body. She clashes with the enemies, and as she dodges their attacks, she cuts Zhang, which makes Mo Yi nervous, and she tries to push her back, but Lin kicks her away too, before sending a wave of red lightning towards them and electrocuting them. She asks Jasmine if she wants to come with her now, and she's afraid of losing, but her weapons stand up again. Lin attacks them and hurts them with her power even more, and Jasmine cries and runs to them, ordering them to stand down because they cannot win, and at this rate they will die. The couple gets emotional, and they say that even though their son does not like them right now, they have watched her since her childhood, and in that way she was also like their child. They say that they will not let her lose, and then with this power of familial love, they unlock the state of harmony installation, and a tornado of fire and ice surrounds Jasmine as she transforms. She comes out with a new costume and is wielding both weapons, and she asks Lin if she is ready for round 2. The girl is shocked that her enemy also attained the ultimate form so quickly, but she is confident in her skill. Jasmine suddenly becomes Dominic Toretto and tells Lin that since she harmed her family, she will not survive, and they rush towards each other. Jasmine overwhelms her opponent, and with one strike of her sword, she forces her to her knees and crushes the ground beneath them with the force. She pushes her back and then goes into full Tanjiro mode as she swings her swords, releasing fire and water attacks. Lin dodges the attacks initially, but they follow her and trap her before exploding and sending her flying into a nearby building. Jasmine follows her, but Lin stands up, certain that both of them are at their limits, and that the one who makes the next hit will win. She attacks Jasmine with the fire slash, but she dodges it and then shows her real power using a combo attack of fire and water slashes at once that surrounds Lin and deals severe damage to her. Jasmine tells her to surrender, saying that she has lost, and then her weapon also comes out and tells her that they should retreat now. As they run away, Taixu is impressed by the battle, but Chai is not, and as he leaves for his home using a portal, he says that he will definitely kill his parents next time they meet. Is this the origin story of the reverse Batman? Sensing that everyone has left, Jasmine finally breaks the tough act she was putting on and falls to her knees due to exhaustion. Meanwhile, her home is being attacked by the people of Tianzun Hall, led by Han and Nalan, and they have commands to seize control of it. But Chang learned about this early on and let Lily stand guard at the door to stop the attackers. Han calls out his spirit weapon, Jimmy, who attacks Lily, and they are evenly matched even though she is one grade lower than him, and she is successful in luring him away from the gate. The fodder cannons that were with Han try to enter the mansion, but then White comes out along with other weapons owned by Jasmine. The attackers are scared as the 3 weapons take on them and easily defeat and kill most of them. Then White gathers his energy in both hands and blows them away with an energy wave, and as he's about to kill them, Chang comes running and tells him not to do so. But he does not obey and ends their lives anyway, telling Chang not to be a snowflake because this was war and people die here. On the other side, Jimmy and Lily are evenly matched, but then the ninja girl attacks her from behind and the attack is blocked by White, who has come here with Chang to back her up. Nalan and Han are confident that they have the advantage and will win, so the ninja disappears and Jimmy attacks White, who blocks but gets overpowered. Chang has an idea and he tells White to stay ready and runs towards Han with Lily, who attacks the arrogant boy, and the ninja girl comes forward to save him. She is visible now and Chang commands White to attack her, but Jimmy stops the attack with his special ability. Chang is distracted for a moment, and the ninja takes this chance to attack him, but Lily comes in front of him and takes the damage to save her master. She remembers that in her last life, she failed to protect the life of her master, but now she is not going to let that happen again, and she swings her spear to throw the ninja back. Chang rushes to her side and she is severely injured and crying as she says that she did her best and now wants some compliments from her master. Then suddenly she loses consciousness and Chang cries out. On the other side, Jimmy is overwhelming White with his fast attacks, and while the latter can block and dodge his attacks, he cannot gain the upper hand. He tries to ask Chang to help him, but he is crying that it is all his fault because he was not strong enough to win, but still came out to show off. Jimmy kicks White down and then attacks him with a giant energy ball, but he blocks it using a shield, and now his body is reaching its limits. Jimmy is about to finish him when two swords fall from the sky, and then the power couple appears before him and pushes him back. Jasmine has also returned, and she comes running to Chang's side and checks that Lily is still alive. She uses her spiritual power to transform her into a mini-weapon so that she can survive the injury, and Chang is relieved. Han is shocked and asks Jasmine how she recovered so quickly after her battle with Lin, and she thanks Chang for that because he sent her other weapons to recharge her energy. Then she comforts him and tells him to stop crying and get up so that they can finish the battle together. The power couple is attacking Jimmy with their combo skills, and he feels weakened as they transfer his buffs to White, who gets back up. Han is furious and decides to unleash his secret moves so that he does not lose this time, and he does not care even if the chairman scolds him for this. He uses a spell, and then Jimmy's sword glows as his aura changes and he starts absorbing power from the Big Dipper constellation. As the power couple attacks him, he blocks their attacks easily and even matches White's punch with equal force. Chang notices the stars in the constellation turning red, and he realizes that if they all go red, it will be dangerous. But Jimmy says that it was already too late, and he throws up his sword, which releases a huge amount of energy that travels to the sky and connects all the stars. Then, with the sword back in his hand, he concentrates all the power he has absorbed to launch his ultimate skill, 7-star slash, and White tries to stop it with his bare hands but realizes that it is too powerful for him. He needs more spirit power, and Chang wonders how he can do that, and he gets an idea and cuts his hand and places it on White's back. They are momentarily teleported to the spiritual realm, where White scolds him, saying that he may lose all his blood while giving him energy, but Chang says that he will not let anyone die. White accepts his help, and they go back to the real world, where he is able to push back Jimmy's ultimate attack, but he puts more power behind it. Now White has enough power to use his secret move, with which he absorbs the sword beam and gets supercharged, while Chang collapses. He then releases the energy he just stored in the form of a powerful energy beam and defeats Jimmy with one hit. Han calls his spirit weapon back like a defeated Pokemon, and then decides to run away with his partner, and Jasmine rushes to Chang's side. But on the way, Han and Nellen stop, and they think that a lot of things seem weird today, starting with their chairman giving them orders to raid Jasmine's house. Then suddenly, White appears behind Nellen and kills him, and Han is furious as well as scared. He runs back to the Tianzun Hall and informs the chairman, Zhang Lu, who is furious at White for killing one of his men. He comes there, and apparently he is playing on both sides as he says that he feels sorry for their loss and calls Jasmine and her group ruthless people. Zhang Lu is already furious, and now he decides to go and hunt down those who killed one of his subordinates. Back at Jasmine's mansion, Chang is recovering, and the tiny Lily is right next to him. Jasmine comes to check up on him and says that what he did was too risky, and she was worried for him when he was unconscious for 2 days. But then the Doctor Spirit weapon comes, and after teasing her master about the boy, she tells Chang that the preparations he told them to do were complete. Chang tells Jasmine that he found that the house was located on the spirit ley line, and he was planning to use it to strengthen the defenses of the house that got damaged during the previous battle. Jasmine is impressed, but then Jiang comes running to her, telling her about Zhang Lu and his team coming to their mansion quite aggressively, and they leave to face them. They do not know what happened and wonder for what reason the Tianzun Hall is here. But Zhang Lu faces them with murderous eyes and asks Chang to call his weapon because he needs to talk with him. Chang has finally learned to use spiritual power, and he summons White. Then Zhang Lu introduces himself as the best sword in the world and says that he will kill him. He is watching this from the distance, and he laughs as White accepts the challenge to fight. He creates a bow and arrow with his energy and launches it at Zhang Lu, who reflects it and then suddenly attacks him from behind. White dodges the initial attack, but his enemy keeps on increasing his speed and attacking from all sides, and he soon realizes that he was not moving fast but teleporting around. His special ability was called Momentary Path that allowed him to travel in space to attack his enemy, which he uses to overwhelm White by attacking him from all sides. And as he gets injured by one of his counters, he uses the second part of his ability by traveling back in time a little to undo the injury, and then stabs him. White is getting tired, but he is still predicting and blocking all of his attacks, and Zhang wonders how he can react to his special ability so well if he had only seen it for the first time. He uses a powerful attack, and White blocks with his energy shield, but is not strong enough and his shoulder gets pierced. As they keep on going back and forth, the other weapons have completed Chang's plan and laid out logs of wood in the design of his spiritual circuit, which he activates by chanting a spell. All wooden arrangements release pillars of light, and he tells Jasmine that he learned this skill this afternoon. Chang makes the pillars collide in the center, and all the area under them becomes his domain, giving White more power and confidence. He taunts Zhonglu and then easily blocks his attacks, and as Yi notices Zhonglu on the edge, he decides to intervene and attacks Chang from the back, but he is pushed back by a golden light. He is shocked to see Chang wearing armor and holding a spear, as he has successfully achieved harmony with Lily. Then Chang confronted Yi, saying that he was the vice president of the Tian gang trial but was still attacking spirit warriors and calls backup to surround him. He always had doubts about him ever since he heard about the meeting from Jasmine, and he realized that he was tracking everyone and coordinating the siege with the Tianzan Hall. It is Zhonglu's turn to be shocked, and as Han tells him that he ordered them to raid the mansion and even gave helpers to them. He says that he only asked them to do an investigation. Then White learns that Han had seen him kill Nalan, and he denies being involved with anything like that. Zhanlu has realized everything, and he says that he was sowing discord among the spirit warriors by using his shape-shifting abilities and turns against him. He says that the vice president had told him about the debris inside him and asked him not to give it to anyone, but it reacted strongly to White during the battle, and he will give it to him now. Seeing that everyone was against him, Yi just laughs and says that he will just leave now without telling his reasons, and to stop him, Chang throws his spear at him. But then he summons a shield and the spear shatters before a portal opens next to him, and then Qi and Tai Xu come out of it. Chang and Zhanlu say that they won't let him go, but don't even move from their position to stop Yi from teleporting away, and then Qi says that he will kill everyone. Before the fight starts, Zhanlu makes amends for his mistakes and gives the debris inside him to White for wrongfully accusing him. His body absorbs the gem-shaped debris and starts glowing as he finds himself in the spiritual world of the crystal in front of him. As soon as he touches it, energy and memories start to flow to him, and he sees a man who he fought alongside in his previous life. He wakes up from that shock and then goes to face Tai Xu, who taunts him that he is only an epic-level weapon, and he levels up right in front of her. The power couple and Chang try to tell Qi that Yi was using him, but Tai Xu tells him to ignore them. Then suddenly, Jimmy and Lin attack her, and she blocks their attacks and throws them away before attacking Zhanlu with her ribbons, which he blocks. She then uses her dark lightning, and he swings his sword with full might to block it and create a huge blast. Tai Xu laughs, saying that he was so weak, and then all of the Tianzan Hall members use their signature sword slashes to attack her with a triple combo, but she blocks it and is completely unharmed. Jasmine gets into harmony with her swords and tells Chang and White to join her in the battle. Chang attacks Tai Xu for being thrown away, and then White covers for him and launches a barrage of quick attacks on her. Chang joins the battle again, and he seems to be in perfect sync with White, and then Jasmine uses her fire and ice combo from behind, and Jimmy adds his power to it. While Tai Xu defends against it, she feels her power reducing due to Jasmine's new skill, Psycho Swap, which steals enemies' energy and gives it to her. Chang attacks Tai Xu again, and as she blocks him, White shoots an arrow at her, which is quite powerful and fast, and manages to injure her. She goes crazy as she sees her blood for the first time in 5,000 years, and says that she will defeat them using her full strength now. She gathers energy and then creates a black hole that grows and shrinks, swallowing all the warriors with her into a different dimension. Tai Xu welcomes them in her dimension and says that they cannot defeat her here, and it is proven when Jasmine attacks her and the attack power is absorbed. Tai Xu laughs like a maniac as she launches black lightning and causes blasts everywhere as everyone dodges. Chang sees Chai in a corner and realizes that there may be a way to win using him. Mo Yi comes out of Jasmine and asks her to let her handle her son because she brought him into this world and can take him out too, and the master reluctantly agrees. Chang and White decide to distract Tai Xu with the help of other warriors, and they attack her, but she blocks everything. Jasmine tosses the sword towards Qi, and it turns into Mo Yi again as it approaches her son. She tries to make him understand that he was being manipulated, but it is no use since he is mentally unstable and grabs her throat, saying that he is not her son, but King Chu. This is some Moon Knight level stuff. White realizes that Chang's assumption was correct, and right now there were 3 souls mixed into one in the boy's body, and it was called a Trinity Fusion. Jianlu tells them that it was dangerous because those with Trinity Fusion souls can easily loot weapons and steal their energy, and right now, the king in Qi's body was doing the same with Mo Yi and absorbing her powers as she screamed in pain. Tai Su has also realized that everyone was planning to separate her from her master for their plan, and she angrily attacks them with her Black Thunder and throws everyone away, and Chang and Jasmine are forced out of their harmonious state. Tai Su goes back to her master and asks the king to go back and give her her chai. He does not listen to her and first throws Mo Yi down, and then uses powerful black lightning to stun everyone again. Then he suddenly attacks Tai Su since he wants her power and absorbs it, shattering her dimension and creating a huge explosion outside as everyone also comes out. Dark clouds cover the sky, lightning is released from them, and the evil king, who is now in harmony state, says that with this power he will rule the world. On the ground, White and others are exhausted, but Chang says that they have no choice but to keep on fighting to protect the people, and that was something the man in White's memory said too. Chang has an idea, and he asks Zhonglu to help him lure the boy into the formation he used before. Jianlu and his 2 teammates combine their power and attack him, but the evil king easily absorbs that. But as he looks down, he sees that White was regaining his power with the help of the formation and says that it was still useless. Then Chang and White hold hands and achieve the state of harmony insulation, and now the evil king is furious and attacks them using a powerful and dark move. But Chang absorbs it like White did with Jimmy before and then launches the attack back at him with even more power. It hits the evil king and he is damaged, and then Chang jumps up to deliver the finishing blow. The evil king wants to attack him, but the other 2 souls in his body, Qi and the old man, hold him back, and his twisted soul comes out while resisting, and Chang jumps down and slashes him. The evil soul is released and he catches the boy's body and brings him down as he himself separates from White. The evil king's soul is disintegrating and leaving the body, and Qi's parents come running towards him with a worried heart. In his memories, Qi sees his entire life story in a 30-second flashback, from being born to his parents' deaths, his soul mixing with the king, and then Yi, Tai Su, and the evil king manipulating him. But as he tries getting free from them, his parents' souls reach out to him and he finally gets free and meets them, and their family attains their happy ending.